Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is so good to see you all here today. And we are all the way live, and I'm excited about it. It is a workshop Wednesday, and today we will be talking to one who become like a good friend of mine. We really only connected in the last few weeks, but we've been talking about getting together for a little while. And I just kept forgetting to call, or the time I call, I think he would be sleeping, or what it was. But I am excited today. Last week we had my friend Conrad Roach, who I've known my whole life, basically. But now I'm talking today to a man who I've only recently met. And it seems like we've known each other all our lives. And so that's how it is with musicians. We vibe like that. It's so good. So, hey, I am talking about none other than Homesick Mac. He has been in the comments here on my channel. I've been on his channel, and we have been chopping it up in the back. So we're just grateful to bring all this good content to you. But before we get to him, just notice that it is not Freeform Friday, as some of you may want to think it is, but it is actually Work Wednesday. Yeah, that is what that is. And now we are correct. It is Workshop Wednesday. I don't know what happened there. But we're be talking to a music teacher that makes a difference. And I am so glad to have, you know what, I might as well just go ahead and put him on the screen. But before we get to him, I'm just going to let you know that we are on the move to releasing our first single here on Quiet Time Piano. And in order to make sure that you are in the know, I would like you to give me your email so that we can put you in the front row seat of when that happens. It is going to be exciting, and it is exciting. We all the way live. So if you have a moment, just drop in your email, davidhunt.link/email. We'll be really happy to get you to be there when the things go down. All right. And so without further ado, let's talk to Mac. Mac, are you ready?
Yep.
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend. You know what? And I think that I am going to talk to the people,
Hello.
man. Say hello.
Well, hi everybody. It's so great to be here. We've been longing to do this thing together for quite a while now, as you said, and I'm so pleased that we hit it off. Here we are today.
That's good. Awesome. Hey, Mac, I have been really interested in this. It's like, how did the name Homesick Mac come about? That's kind of like an interesting tag to have on there.
Yeah, I'll try to make it short. It's when I moved from my former home country of Yugoslavia, which doesn't exist anymore. So, but before the civil war and everything, I moved to Sweden, to Scandinavia, and back before that, I played in a band called Blues Trio. So when I came to Sweden, I needed to build up new name, new career, started playing around within blue circles and all that. So it's like, what should I call myself? So I was just like Mac, okay. And then when I was about to release my first solo CD, to yeah, just to improve everything with the setup and maybe to do some promotion and all that. So my agent at the time asked me, "Well, you cannot just call yourself Mac." And then I was grumbling and thinking about it at home. And then my wife said, "Well, you're always complaining you're never home because of the tours and everything. So you're homesick." So that's how it became Homesick.
Perfect. That is awesome. I love it. I love it. And we have some people in the audience. We have, I believe there was G. Albert earlier commenting before the stream started. And we also have Christine. So glad that you are here today. We have Blind Guy, his wife, their life. Happy hump day to you. If you give a like. If you give a like. Elizabeth, so glad that you, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that last name.
I can help you with that.
So, say again?
This is actually my coworker,
Okay.
one of my wonderful colleagues at this nonprofit that I'm working for here in
Nice,
Sweden,
that's fantastic.
which is also the reason for everything. Yeah.
Cool. Happy to see you. Tamaris, good morning. Welcome. Welcome to you as well. Thank you, Elizabeth. So glad that you are here. Barbara, as well, one of our regulars on Facebook. Come on over to YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. If you are watching on, I'm simulcasting on Facebook and YouTube. And actually, you know, that first link I sent you, you could actually have put this on your streams as well. But that's, you know, it's okay. All right, I wanted to just talk to you today about a little bit of your backstory, where you know your journey into live streaming, and could you talk a little bit about who Homesick Mac is and where you're from and how you got into even technology and music?
Definitely. I come originally from former Yugoslavia, which was a country that existed between 1918 and 1991, basically, there somewhere. So it was a union of southern Slavic nations, different nationalities, that worked quite well for some time, but then it just split. So now the country that I'm coming from is actually called Serbia, which is a much older country than Yugoslavia was, because that goes back to 1,000 years back. So basically, I'm a man without roots, so to say. You know, you talk to somebody who's from America or Ireland, Germany, they say, I'm from this country. You have those origins. I have mostly my kind of cultural heritage as my background. So I'm coming from an area where you have like 25 different nationalities living together, which was under different governments and rulings from, let's say, 800 years back. There were like 5 or 6 different countries, it was called. So it's like, it's a very difficult thing to explain maybe to somebody who has the roots where they are and feel good about it. So I'm kind of very, I think about the whole world as my home country, basically, the whole planet. So that's that part. And then I got interested in music when I was around 10, 11, started playing accordion as a folk instrument in those days. And then I kind of always loved the spiritual music of any kind. And when I was very small, I was like 8, 9 years old, my father took me to a concert with the Golden Gate Quartet, where they had one original member left from the 30s who was still hanging with them. And they sang on a nice little stadium in my hometown. And I was hooked to that vibe, to that groove, to that fantastic music. And when I was around 15 years old, started playing the guitar, and my first thought was Golden Gate. How can I play that? And then I got into spirituals, gospel, blues, early jazz, and I got stuck in, let's say, those 30s, 40s of the last century, where there's so much treasure to dig from and to learn from. So that's my origin. And then I just started playing that, and I met my harmonica player a couple of years later, and I was hooked. We started our band in 1983 and started playing professionally. And the market was much easier then, not just because of the pandemic now, whatever, but there was this sought after urge for live music, lots of clubs, lots of places to play on. So it was quite easy to build a career back then, much easier than youngsters have today. That's why I want to help them.
Nice. That's good, man. So, you know what? You talk about your playing for the hearing the quartet, and that sticking in your head. Could you give us like
Yeah.
a little sample of what that
Yeah,
could
well,
sound like?
if I'm sure some of you in this community around this live stream are quite familiar with spiritual music and gospel, for that matter. I think it's an amazing music when it comes to expressing feelings. And since I was very much inspired by vocals, much more than by guitar playing, that came later on. But ever since I started playing slide guitar, which I'm going to be showing you in a second, it's when I realized that slide guitar is actually a fantastic tool to imitate the human voice, to phrase the melodies, to give the whole feeling to a note, to a tone that you want to achieve, and the emotion you want to move over to the other party who's listening.
Yeah.
And that's when let's say, if you just put me on the full, I can show you some stuff that's going like this, so to say. Just a little improvised piece. That's basically how I hear the slide guitar sing, and can give emotion. Because now I just realized that I took a chord shape that's very similar to how you play piano when you go between chords, which I just love listening to you, because you have the kind of stuff like the voicings of piano and guitar are quite similar, but not so easy to compare. Oh, keep it going, keep it going. Yeah. So difficult to synchronize live music over internet through the live stream because of the technology
It sounded good
that's
to me. I
limiting us
don't know
there.
how it sounded to you guys out there. Just put a 1 if you like that in the chat. So good, so good, so good. Hey, just one quick question. Hey, Laquita, if you're watching, could you just remove Samuel's comment? I don't know, these guys come through. Some people leave them and just let them go, but I don't know. All right, so that was amazing. You just pulled that emotion, or you could feel and see and hear in your own mind, and how that felt. I like that. That was good, Mac. And you talked
Thank you.
about emotion. Is that something you can teach, or is it something after years you just start to learn to feel it? How would you try and pull that out? I know we're
Well,
talking more about the music right now, and we're going to jump into the technology in a little bit. But
oh yeah.
could you talk about that for a little bit?
There is this step, the first step that you need to jump over, go over. You know this old song called "You Must Come In at the Door."
Yeah.
When the refrain goes like, "So high you can't come over it, so low you can't get under it, so wide you'll
Right.
never get around. You must come in at the door." But that's totally applicable to guitar playing or any instrument playing, because there is just one door, and that's practicing up to a level where you can move forward and express your feelings with the whatever technical stuff you're playing.
Mac,
So
you
that's my
preaching now.
main thing.
Wow, man, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And I guess with that goes with anything in life. You know,
Definitely, yeah.
you know, you
And many classical, just compared to classical music, you have to come to a very high level before you can interpret, do your own version of so well known, let's say, musical pieces. When it comes to those more earthy musical forms like blues, jazz, rock, anything, I mean, thank God the level needed is lower and more democratic, which means much more people have access to it, and that's why I think it's still a certain level of technique that you need to possess first, and then you can express your feelings. And for me, slide guitar is a trap, because many people think, well, it's easy, just put this slide tube on strings and glide, and that's it. And it's easy to learn the basics. But then if you want to express yourself, then you will definitely need to think of something. So maybe before we talk about technology, there is a technology behind slide playing as well. So if I just show you this most important thing when it comes to slide playing, is that get yourself a nice heavy slide and quite heavy strings on your guitar. Now this guitar is very special, but I can play it on any acoustic guitar as well. So the first rule for slide playing is to, if you want to play a chord, usually we are in open tunings, which is now on my guitar. So you need to put your...
Is it drop D?
Yeah, this is the open D tuning, yes. It sounds
D,
like, let's say E chord on a regular guitar. Standard tuning would sound like this. Quite familiar kind of note, right? So that's an E chord, but then this is tuned in D. So for those who are musicians, they know that it's a key of D, but the relations between notes are just as if you just grab the E chord. So basically, if you want to play a chord, let's say on a 5th fret, all you need to think is not to press too hard, not to press too little, and then place the slide totally parallel with the frets of your guitar. And then you're coming into this clean, nice chord. And then the hardest part of slide playing is slide vibrato. And vibrato, let's say if I take the note on the 4th fret here, vibrato is happening behind and with my elbow. So basically, I'm not just moving my finger or my hand. Everything is in a large block. And then this vibrato is your emotion, which means how you come to that note. If you play it energetically, it will be like this. Right now, I'm kind of pushy. But if I want to make it like an oily, nice vibrato, a lot of emotion, a lot of kind of understated emotion, would be like this. Now we're talking melodies and all that.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
rule of a thumb is to rule your slide with a lot of kind of respect, and don't push it too hard. Don't pick too hard, especially with your pick in hand. In my case, the
Yeah,
right one.
man.
But it's a very light touch to everything. But okay, enough of that.
Man, that is so good, Mac. That's so good. I make me want to go out now and buy a slide because it's like that's so.
Do that. Yeah.
Oh man, I even have my guitar,
Yeah.
my guitar here, so that I could get a. That was a good
All right.
lesson, but I don't have a slide, so I can't really do anything.
We can do it
You don't
off
want to
the
hear me play.
record.
You don't want to hear me play.
Yeah, but you don't want to hear me playing piano either, so we're even.
Oh
Yeah.
man, so that's good. Listen, we are so happy to have this. This is good. So Albert asked the question. He's like, "How did you do this without internet lag?" I think we weren't doing a very rhythmic like piece, and I know we talked
Exactly.
about doing it, and it doesn't work over a long term if you do it for more than you know uh, 20 seconds or 30 seconds, then it really becomes um, you could tell that they're not playing together. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
difficult because of this synchronization issues, because of the latency, which means the delay between me picking a note and that coming over to you guys. So that's difficult to achieve with the technology of
yeah.
today
So
right now.
here's the other thing, Albert. I'm actually the host, so when Mac plays, I hear it like a half a second to a second later, and then I play, and then you guys hear it. So, and it really would have depended. If Mac was the host, then I would be playing to him and then him broadcasting out. So that's kind of the thing. And plus, we're at different internet speeds. Um, it is a whole thing. So, I'm only seeing part of the comments right now. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm laughing because Doc Arsenault says one someday he will learn how to play guitar too. Doc is a very good guitar player, and blues and pop and a little good old rock and roll.
Yeah.
He
Bless you,
does it
Doc.
all. Yeah. He lives right down the street from me. So I'm gonna go ahead and say hello to a few more people. How did you? Albert also asked the question. How do you pronounce Elizabeth's last name?
Oh, yeah. I never got to do that. It's in Swedish, there are accents, so to say, dialects from, let's say, from north to south. So
Yeah,
in the south, then we would say Bergagård.
Barry God,
But it's yeah, up north there
Berga
was maybe say
God,
Bergagård, Bergagård.
Barry God. Okay, very good. Wow, that's good. You see, you're even learning some language today. So we talked about the music. We talked about there is really no shortcut to getting to that level where you can express yourself doing, slide or playing piano or violin or any instrument. The coming in at the door is practicing and practicing so that you can express yourself like we're talking right now. But when I was 1 year old, sorry, or 2 years old, I could not express myself the way I do now. And so it is over time learning to, I mean, we're creating right now, creating sentences as I'm thinking about the concepts and bringing them out, as you're talking about the different things that you have to do with the slide and how you tune the guitar and all of that stuff. That didn't come, and of just playing this way in open tuning, it's different because I've learned standard tuning. So what you're doing, I'm just like, wow, okay, maybe one day
Yeah.
I'll get there. So that's something else also to consider. But we've been talking about that. You can only get there through the door. And that will preach. The other one is, let's talk about the technology. So you had students in person before the pandemic?
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't teach up until I was like 40 years old, really.
Yeah.
And mostly because I never got the time because of constant gigging, and I just needed a rest in between gigs, and that was it. So I was always happy to show things to either younger colleagues or somebody else who was interested. And but somehow I got into contact with some people who were running guitar camps. So when I could actually I had to apply for a teacher position at the Blues Week program in the UK. At the time they were in Exeter, and I was recommended to that by a musician friend of mine who I used to play with. So he said, "Well, get Mac. He's going to be good for a job because he wouldn't teach anymore there." So then I had to apply. I just sent some samples of my work and whatever, and then we had some talks, and all of a sudden I was there standing in front of like 25 people. I guess everybody was playing except maybe two, this Resophonic guitars, heavy,
Yeah.
loud instruments, eager to learn, and I was about to teach beginner slide guitar. And that was almost like you threw me to the lions in an old, ancient Rome arena. I was like, what? I'm not good at this. But at the same time, I felt, I've always felt enormous satisfaction when I could enlighten somebody in anything. So I showed them a couple of licks, and I just saw those looks in their eyes, like, oh, that's right, that's how it's done. And I was hooked. I said, I want to teach for the rest of my life. It's fantastic. It gives me as much as it gives to them.
Yeah.
And that's how I started teaching. And I had more and more students in person as well as I got back to Sweden. And then I taught continuously for I think 10 or 11 years at this program, at this camp. And then I started my own guitar retreat in Sweden, where I wanted to reach maybe not only people who are musicians or aspiring guitar players. I wanted to work with people who were not guitar players, basically who just want to play guitar, maybe who started when they were young, but then just left it for job, family, and everything. Then now they want to come back to playing guitar again, and that was something that was very inspiring for me because it's so democratic, it's so inclusive, it's so good to do, and I just realized that. And since I'm working for this nonprofit organization in Sweden, which is actually working with people's education outside the school system, which is getting funds from the Swedish state in order to let people join into studying circles, organize cultural events and all that. So it was so natural for me to try to use that concept and do it in my guitar teaching. So it's maybe not so much about guitar playing, it's about socializing, it's about feeling good, it's about having this mutual feeling of, belonging somewhere. This is a nice group. Let's have some fun. And I've heard that from my students. I don't want to call them students, from the participants in this guitar retreat. They usually say, hey, it's great, this with licks and songs you're teaching us, but evening jams, when we just sit around on the porch and play whatever we can play,
Right.
that's fantastic. Those moments when you actually see that somebody who is maybe just starting to play slide guitar or blues, they're very good at playing some nice pop music or whatever they're interested in. It's like there's always something more in a human being than what you can see on the surface. And this journey around and in and out is something that inspires me to this day, and I think I'll just continue doing that.
Oh man, I should have put you solo because that was so good. We gotta clip that out. You had so
It
many
doesn't
gems
matter.
in there. I should have been taking notes,
Yeah.
but I'll go back through and watch it again so that I can get those gems, man. Because you're talking about the feeling of community, the feeling of, hey, we just here to make life better. I heard that in there somewhere. You didn't actually say those
Exactly.
words, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's good, man. The feeling of like you wanted to teach and reach people who may have had, and people who weren't necessarily guitarists, but they wanted to get into it, and just that feeling that you were able to impart it, like maybe another word for that would be impact,
Yeah.
the impact that they can have on themselves and even on their families, and you're impacting them. That's so good, Max, so good. So
Yeah.
here's a question from this Albert. I'm just gonna just drop this in here. We're having a workshop. Have you seen any of your participants or kids make it on the stage? Like, would they have gone on to pursue music in a more active manner?
Well, not lately since I started my guitar retreat, but that because that's usually for people at my age, even older sometimes, which is around, let's say, I'm 62 now. I started 10 years ago,
You
so
are
like
not
50s and
60.
up.
Stop, Max. I gotta stop you right there. You are not 62. I need to see your
Well, not
driver's
yet. In April,
license.
I'll be in April.
Man, you are looking really good. We need to talk about that lifestyle you got over there in Sweden. Maybe I need to move.
You're always welcome, definitely. But listen, it's when I taught other colleagues, musicians, then I can say yes because I know a fellow musician who came to me when he was around 16 years old, and he saw me playing on festivals and all that. Then he came and just wanted to grab a couple of lessons with me, and that person is now a very well-known blues musician in Sweden. His name is Svante Sjöblom, and he's got the voice of, I don't know. He's a fantastic singer and wonderful guitar player, definitely. And
Yeah.
he started off by just coming to me and say, "Hey, can I take a couple of lessons?" And it wasn't just to pick my brain, as some people would maybe do. He was kind of soaking in everything I showed him, and then he came up with his own versions and angles to the thing. And that was an impressive journey just to follow him along. Because after a couple of meetings we had, I just told him, "Look, I don't want to charge you anymore. I mean, we are colleagues already. It's like,
Right.
what?" Yeah. But then he said, no, we're not. I need to work, of course, which just showed how humble and dedicated he was. Because as a musician, you're never learned. It's kind
You're
of
always learning. Yeah, that's
it's
that's
a
the thing.
wonderful. People call it black hole of knowledge. I call it pink because it's wonderful. I like it. I like that it's so deep and you'll never reach the bottom. But that's how we do it.
Yeah, no. So there's something else that you had mentioned earlier. I know we're gonna jump into the tech in a little bit, but something you mentioned earlier is that you know it doesn't matter where you are, just start, right?
Exactly.
Some people who maybe they had guitars when they were young, and then as life went on, they started to do different things. I've heard people say, "Oh yeah, no, I took piano lessons for 8 years, but now I cannot play anything." And maybe those people, you want to find a place, or even guitar or violin or cello or
Yeah.
whatever the instrument, or even you want to learn a foreign language or whatever it is. Just start. Just start. And that's how you go. You can't take that journey of 1,000 kilometers with 1,000 miles by standing. You have to start moving, right? And
Exactly.
so, Homesick Mac will get you over the line. I think I may need to start a piano mastermind. You know, I would say mastermind, but
Yeah,
maybe that's something
definitely.
that I could look into. So let's talk about that. How you were talking about the guitar retreats and stuff like that. How are you doing that in the pandemic? Could you talk a little bit about how that works?
Okay, so what I did in 2020, when the pandemic was just hitting us really hard, we could not meet in person. So we made an online retreat, which I kind of I felt that I have enough knowledge about technology, and then the whole thing with Zoom came,
Hmm.
and I thought, okay, let's try to use Zoom for that. And boy, if I've learned something during that couple of months before the retreat, which was in September, I learned how to use Zoom. I've already had several cameras because I'm actually working with video productions on a smaller scale
Yeah.
for clients, and that was my kind of side hustle, things I love to do. I always loved to tinker with cameras and video. So I had the technology needed, but the Zoom application as a platform wasn't meant to be used with music so much. It was more the talking experience.
Hmm.
So when
Yeah.
I first did my live stream to my participants, just to in order to test the whole thing, I was like, can we do it online? They all told me, like, man, it's such a delay between when you play something and we see that movement of your hand. It's impossible. We can't do it. And that's where I realized that I need to learn some things. So I, let's say, found out that there is an application for Mac computer, which I'm using, called Audio Hijack, that you can run your audio through and then assign a delay of certain amount of milliseconds, and then you bring that as a so-called virtual microphone into Zoom. So you
Yeah.
use another chain to run the audio compared to your video, which worked up to a certain level. It was never perfect, but it was much better than not. And then you also realize that people on the other end don't always use the best computers or the most fantastic monitors that they're watching you at, and then there is this limitation of resolution of the video that Zoom is limiting you to. So I was always feeling that I should do this through YouTube, not Zoom. But we did. So we did this first online retreat on Zoom for 2 days. It was okay. People were quite happy with it because they got some songs, and I always give them accompanying videos that I record afterwards. So they get the instructional video for all the songs that we worked with on my YouTube channel as unlisted videos, only for, let's say, paying
Hmm.
customers and all that. So I knew that part of the technology, but to make it really shine live, that's when I discovered Ecamm software, as you're also using.
Yeah.
And there is I'm so happy that I can just give them credit for inspiring me to 300% more than I was before that, because I just realized this is good. I can compose my camera angles. I can just press with the press of a button. I can give you guys like 3 angles of my guitar playing, and then just go back to this first one, and I can build scenes and everything. I was like, this is amazing. And I just had thousands of ideas of how I can make it easier for anybody who's watching my tuition to just understand everything better and to see everything better, because there are YouTube channels where people are playing guitar and explaining some fantastic licks and songs and everything, but usually the video quality, the resolution isn't that high, or they're just recording themselves by playing with the guitar, sitting in the sofa, and you don't see too much in detail. So Ecamm made it possible to use the technology to zoom in, let's say, my hands, my picking hands, so I can just explain to anybody who can see as if they were sitting in front of me.
Wow.
That's where technology made such a huge impact on my teaching, and I started realizing that I need to skip this with Zoom because it's just not working. And the first step was to, let's say, do it in Zoom, but then send eCam to YouTube at the same time, which is possible. So technology is there, but then people thought that, oh, it's too much hassle to watch your let's say lesson in on YouTube and then communicate in Zoom because there is a delay as well.
Yeah.
What's coming on YouTube is coming with like a 30 seconds delay compared to Zoom, which is right in your face. So I had some challenges to overcome there, but at the same time, I knew that Zoom was slowly being pushed out because I don't want to use it in these kind of streams. And then I discovered live streaming. I discovered that all I needed actually was to buy a newer computer that will make everything smoother. And now I'm doing my Monday live streams with Ecamm, with these 3 camera angles, and everybody's commenting on, oh, it's such a great picture. I watched this on a 75-inch TV. It's crisp, it's great. And I just say, yes, thank you, because first you have this knowledge from your background, from my background, so maybe I have a easier learning curve because I knew about the cameras, but then to incorporate everything into Ecamm as a platform and then adjust everything, all the settings and things so everything goes smooth when you play. It's the same thing, and I'm sure you've gone through the same things because you needed to do your, let's say, live streams with playing piano as synced as possible because you want people to hear the note when you play it with your fingers.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. That's
Oh, this was a long
That's
rant.
good.
Sorry.
No, I mean it was a great answer. Just talking about if you just go back to that three camera shot. Could you just go back to that?
Yeah, sure.
That is pure gold right there. And folks,
Yeah, exactly.
if
And I have
you
3
have
cameras which are connected to Ecamm software through, different configurations of hardware. So so when we talk technology, please understand that there is both learning curve, but there is also a cost involved. But that's also a cost that you buy things once and then you just use them. So if I make like 30, 35 live streams this year, all the costs I've had are paid off because it's worth it. I don't think about, oh, I want to buy something that costs like $500. Yes, but I'll divide that cost in my mind to the whole year of usage and everything that I can learn from it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Right.
So, look at this. Well, you can talk about me, my brother, just as much as ever you please. If you talk about me, it'll be too low when I get down on my knee. Just can't hide. You must come in at the door. That's the verse for that. But you could also hear now, depending on my internet speed, your speed, how people are watching this, maybe this could have been a little bit out of sync when it comes to my right hand picking because of the technology, right? But when I do my live streams, I'm very careful not to play fast pieces because I want everything to be synced perfectly. And I'm also playing to people who are not professionals. So this is not a live show that I'm going to be playing, but it's something that every little piece of music that I show on my guitars should be this kind of inclusive. It could show somebody, oh yeah, I can do that as well. So I don't want to flash. I just want to enlighten, to inspire, to, oh, you can do that too.
Nice. That's good, Mac. That's good. Well, we're probably going to have you play out here in a little bit, but let's just jump into the comments. I know we could talk for a while, but
Definitely.
if you didn't hear what Mac was talking about, he was talking about using this software, and We want to make sure that you understand. Ooh, wait a minute. This phone is going off here. Sorry about that. Try Ecamm Live. If you use this link right here, davidhunt.link/ecamm, it will get you a 14-day trial that you can use to practice and see if this is something. Now it's only for Mac. I'm just gonna say that it's only for Mac. It doesn't.
Only for me. Thank you.
Yes, only for Mac. Doesn't come on Windows. I want to say hey to Sammy. He's a musician in his own right. Elizabeth was saying, "You are so sweet." Okay, and we answered that question. Good morning, Ruby. So grateful that you are here. And we talked about the MLB crew is you. Not Major League Baseball, but we use our hands like Mac is today, our voice, our heart fueled by love to hit a home run and make life better for everyone, for yourself. And as you're better, you make the world better. People around you, they want to hang with you. There was, hey, let's play some blues together, or you get jam
I'll buy
together.
that, definitely.
That's so good. I know there hasn't been a lot of piano today, but that's all right. Food by Faith. So glad that you are here. She's like, not 62. And this is my cousin-in-law. She said, okay, so what lotion do you use on your face? Just wondering. I know Albert also had a very good question. He's like, looking at Mac and David's foreheads, does playing music do something with your hair? Albert always coming through with
I think Albert is playing a lot of music because he's bold.
He is bald as well, too, yeah. He's like,
I have a little left here in the back, but I don't know.
He said, I was enlightened. Oh, man. Are you using Ecamm Beta or Ecamm Live?
Me? Here? No, it's just regular versions. I don't dare using betas in anything. It's like, I used to be a tester, a beta tester of lots of apps in the early Windows days when shareware was popular and all that. So I used to work with developers to try different versions before they go public and all that. So I know about the bugs and all that. And I know some functions in Ecamm beta are fantastic. But I kind of, now I'll stick to the standard.
The standard version.
Regular versions, yeah.
I am actually using the beta, and I've had problems. There was one version, I think this is version, we're in, excuse me, version 10, version 3.10. I know you're using probably 3.9, which was a huge leap up from 3.8. 3.10 is going to be like really, really, you're going to be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Mind blown. It is that good. And I'm really, really, really liking it a lot. But the thing was 3.10, this is the iteration 8. 3.10.8.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And in 3.10.3, the comments, when I put them up, they were just like off the screen. I'm like, what is going on? Excuse me. I don't know. Okay, that's better. I said, I don't know what's going on. The comments were all the way off the screen, but they got it fixed, and we're back. So
and they always polish it before the real release, so I'm confident they will do that now as well.
Yes, they use us.
David.
Yep.
This, when somebody commented that there wasn't too much piano playing, may I ask you to do something, if it's okay? Mm-hmm. Let's say if you would take the key of D and play a couple of phrases from Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen.
Okay.
And you do your part, and then afterwards I'll play something that I would like feel about when you played. Because I'd like to show, because I'm always, when you're having your live streams, it's quite often that I just take up my guitar and play along. Even if I don't know what you're playing, I'm just kind of following along, just enjoying the vibe and everything.
Nice.
And I just want to kind of show this to people, how I would do this, and how two musicians from two different parts of the world can have a very similar vibe, and we just love the music of that kind, and that's how we do it.
Okay. goodness. Wow. Wow.
Thank you. Some
Mac,
progressions you
amazing.
made in the beginning, it was fantastic. You just can't do that on the guitar at the same time while you're playing melody, especially with slide. Maybe
Yeah.
it's an excuse, a bad one, but still, it's amazing. Piano
Mac.
voicings are something I'd love to learn. Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, we can probably talk about it a little bit more as we're going.
Definitely.
Fam,
Yeah.
fam,
I love that.
fam. Wasn't that amazing? Just amazing. So, if you have a desire, you want to learn guitar, maybe this might have sparked something and be like, oh man, that's beautiful. I want to learn how to do that. You can. You can. You most definitely can. We talked today a little bit of the technology and how we're doing that in the midst of a pandemic. Mac, talk to the people about how they can get in contact with you, how they can find out about these retreats that you do. Just talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll take it very briefly because this website that I have, HOmeSickMac.com, actually has has stopped working
Oh no.
for several reasons, and I've updated my computer, and I just can't reach it. I cannot administrate anymore. So please don't visit that. But if you just look for Homesick Mac on YouTube, you will find my Blue Monday live streams,
Yes, it
and
says
that's
right
every
underneath.
Monday,
No?
9 p.m. Central European time, which is, let's say, 3 o'clock in your area, David. And
Mm-hmm.
actually, this time was meant to accommodate people from different countries. And I do have people from States, Canada, Germany, UK, Sweden. So it's a nice gathering there.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like how we have it. So on YouTube as well as Instagram, Twitter.
Twitter is at Homesick Mac. On Instagram, I was mostly working with some kind of photography Instagram presence, but I'm not so active there. But Twitter
But Twitter.
and
Okay.
uh,
All right,
and
I'll
YouTube
update the
definitely.
description to make sure those are there. I put them in the description. I don't know if that was like maybe I misappropriated.
Thank you. I
That's
can't
okay.
see on YouTube now what's there in the description or whatever, but yeah, we can
Okay, yeah, so
talk about
I'll
that.
update that after the show. Thank you so much, Mac, for coming through. We really do appreciate you, fam.
Thank
It
you.
has been really, really, really good conversation today as a guitar teacher, how we can just make the world a better place by just giving good, wholesome instruction, bringing people together from different parts of the world, even as we have in our audience here today. And so we are so grateful to each and every one of you who made it out. Lavender for Luck, thank you so much for coming through. Um, Margarita Singh, Lord, what a blessing. Hi, everyone. Quiet voice. I've been missing out. This is beautiful. Synovia, thank you so much. Lavender for Luck, lovely accompaniment. It's like, Mac, you are amazing too. Yes, we got you,
Thank you.
Lavender for Luck. Ah, bravo, guys. Wow. Amazing. Don't stop. Well, actually, we do. I'm already beyond the time that we are. So you can check Mac out at 9 p.m. Central European Time, CET, or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays, and 12 Pacific, which is 11. No, yeah, 12 Pacific, which is 2
Yeah,
p.m.
it is 12. It's great.
Yeah,
Great.
that's
Well,
good.
thank you so
So,
much for having me, David, and thank you to your community around your live stream because I've really enjoyed chatting with you guys when I
yeah.
was just watching
Hmm.
previously and all that. And I'm so happy and honored to be a guest in the
Oh,
stream. So
yes, man.
I'll be
We've
seeing
been
you again. And on Friday, Freeform Friday, don't forget it.
freeform. No,
I'll see
that's
you all
right.
there.
Freeform Friday. We will be there. Oh, thank you, Mac. So good. If you just hold on for a few minutes, We will be back to it. So thank you so much. Wow. 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 That is indeed amazing, Mac. So gifted as a guitar teacher as well as just a genuinely nice guy. So grateful to have him on the show today. And next week, who knows who we will see. We're still working on building that out. I decided to just start because it's something that I talked about doing, but then you don't do it, and then the time goes by and you didn't do it, and then you're like, man, I should have done it. So we are so happy that we've started this series, Workshop Wednesday, bringing to life the people in the community who are making a difference, as well as living in the junction of technology and music and creating impact. TMI. So grateful for you to be here. I'm hoping that we were able to deliver some impact to you today. And we will see you on Friday for Freeform Friday. We're really going to be Freeform Friday. And looking forward to seeing you. We are grateful that you've been with us. It's been real. It's been good. It's been real good. But we're hoping that somewhere in the video today you were able to find great value. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on Friday the next time. Take care now.